My father used to serve in the Army. He joined the local special forces after his retirement. He owned a Spanish rifle that he claimed was from the war. It was a beautiful piece of machinery, but he wouldn't let me touch it.
Do you want to go hunting with me tomorrow?
I'd love to.
Yeah? All right.
I still remember when my father invited me to go hunt with him for the first time.
I'm going to get up early.
I still
Ready?
remember how excited I was that day. All I could do was stare at the rifle on the wall behind my father. I barely heard him when he told me he was going for a walk.
So, you don't need to take everything you own, but you should bring a couple other things.
That day I got up at the crack of dawn.
For hunting. If it gets
I
cold.
packed some water and food. My father took his rifle. We drove to a forest far away from our city.
Let's go.
I remember staring at the rifle in the back seat the whole ride. I followed my father. He didn't say a word as we walked. I watched the rifle bounce up and down on his back.
All right, son. You ready? In a minute.
He showed me all the
rifle.
parts and their
You
uses.
got to make sure that you only point it when you're ready to fire. You know what you're shooting at. You don't want to just hit anything out here. All right?
I knew. When I heard the first click, I was madly in love with it.
All right, nice
It was the
wide
best
gaze.
moment of my life.
Point at the target.
Since my father worked for the local special forces, he wouldn't be home for long periods of time. He never really did discuss his work with me. I only know that he conducts investigations of some sort. As I grew up, I found myself yearning to awaken it from its resting place. It all started when my father wasn't home for more than 3 days. I couldn't resist. As my hands brushed past the trigger, I felt it tempting me, daring me to give in. It became a habit. Whenever my father left home for 3 days or more, I would clean the rifle for him. He told me he wanted me to study out of state after middle school. One of his buddies had connections with a great high school. I refused in the beginning. Moving to a new state without my father by my side seemed terrifying. Besides, I couldn't bear the thought of not being able to hunt. It also meant I wouldn't be able to see the rifle. But my father was persistent. I came back several years later. My father immediately took me hunting again. I'd grown to be taller than the rifle, and my aim was already as good as his. There wasn't much to do around the house, and I didn't have any friends here anymore. I think I can handle the gun on my own. I don't need my father around. He wasn't around anyway. The weather was scorching hot. Beads of sweat dripped down my forehead and onto my smirking lips. But my right hand... The following day, my father told me that there was an emergency at work he had to deal with.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, sure. You gotta go.
What's the matter, Dad?
Have you seen the bullets to my rifle?
Your bullets?
Yes. I need to do a test to see if they match. Son, have you been touching my rifle?
No. What's wrong?
Nothing. Just promise me you won't touch my rifle without my permission. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, Father. All finished?
Why didn't you tell me the truth? All of my bullets for the rifle went missing. All 5 of them. I've been trying to match the fingerprints on my rifle for the past few days. Every 3 days, I oil my rifle with cotton and rub it clean. I've never cleaned the trigger. It isn't my fingerprints that are on there. Yours are. I haven't submitted the fingerprint report yet. No matter how you plead, they're going to charge you for at least 10 years.
What am I supposed to do? Huh? If I'm locked up for 10 years? I only just got a high school degree. And I even got into a great college. How am I supposed to find a job? Even a place to live? It'll be on my record forever! Tell me!
Thank you for agreeing to this interview.
You know, that feeling I had that day when I pulled the trigger? That sweet, sweet exhilaration? I can still feel it in my head.